Hi, and welcome back to the Tea and Moths podcast. Today we're just going to be catching up on a little bit of what we've been going through lately, and we just kind of reminisce about some of the old games that we play and just a few of the things that we've been doing. So, on that note, we're just going to jump right in. Apex banners, like our own little customized personal ones. That was probably the biggest project I've done. But yeah, eventually I had a template, so now I just need someone to send me a photo and boom, throw that in, get their name, and then I just got to make sure the coloring on the name is right, which is the way I did it. It's a little funky, so it's not always the true color that you put in, so sometimes you got to mess around with two shades, but it's been fun to actually learn those skills. I still
Post
need to
on like
make my
Twitter,
webcam
and
frame.
especially because you have the template already. Because it doesn't take you that long, and people would probably pay it.
I'd have to tweet
Or
it out
post it on
before this
Fiverr.
video though.
Yeah, post it on Fiverr,
Yeah, true.
and I guarantee you would easily get people to do it. Especially if you had
Also,
examples of mine, CJ's, and yours.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, that's awesome." People would love it. Be some easy side hustle money, especially because you already have the template and you know it doesn't take long.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a good idea. That honestly is something I've never ever like thought of was posting on like Fiverr or I know there's a site called Redbubble, but I think that's more like actual crafts and like stickers and stuff that people
There's
make.
so
That's more
many of those
physical than
websites.
there's
I've
like
just
Etsy or something.
Etsy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that too.
But I've
That's
been
more.
told by several people,
Fiverr's more
Fiverr.
video and content creator
Yeah,
related.
I've been told by several people, like anyone that usually does stuff like that is always on.
I've
So
thought
I
about
should.
just looking into any of those and just kind of seeing what they'll have. Like you can post on there like pay me to play with you. Like there's stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like people make so much side hustle money doing that stuff.
Need to get carried? Pay me $20 an hour.
I mean, if you were someone that had like a 4 or 5 KD on a game, like that would be awesome.
For real.
Pay me per win, $100 per win.
That would be wild. But yeah, I've been trying to put together a few videos from Vanguard. I'm gonna be honest, I probably say this too often, but I'm just waiting for Halo, man. I'm just waiting for Halo.
You had a
I
pretty
don't.
exciting stream the other day. That's for sure.
Yeah, on one of. I mean, I don't want to call it my stream back, but like it was probably my first stream in about a week or so, and I got raided by one of my friends, and a bunch of people that I love talking to showed up, and then there were already people in there that I love talking to, so it was just a good time, and they showed a lot more love than I would have ever expected. So
Pretty
that was
cool.
a really good feeling. It was
JRinkz
fun.
got a hype train and he's like, "What is happening?" I'm like, "See, everyone wants you to stream more."
Oh, I don't know what to say. I really don't. It completely threw me off. I was not expecting any of it.
Well, that's the best times. I mean, you shouldn't really. I mean, for streaming, like those moments is why everyone's streaming. Those awesome, fun moments.
I
Anything else?
yeah, I think I'm done. I don't have anything else to say about that. I edit stuff. Boom. There you go.
Well, I guess one thing that I could start out with is I started like maybe it was like 8 weeks ago or something. I actually have had no caffeine for about 8 weeks. No coffee, no pot. And I'm just doing this just as a personal thing, nothing like for any challenge or anything.
Did you used to
I
drink
just
a lot
wanted
of
to.
caffeine?
I used to drink a lot of caffeine. So I'd wake up, I'd have pre-workout, and then I'd come home, I'd have 2 cups of coffee, um, like an hour and a half later. And then at work, they have free coffee because like they just make it in the break room. I was like, oh, I'd have 1 to 4 cups, depending on how tired I was. And then I come home and have G Fuel. So I was caffeinated all the time. And like it got to a point where I was just like, okay, I'm definitely relying on caffeine to keep me awake. And I watched a lot of videos. I kind of went down like the YouTube rabbit hole too, where like, you watch something and all of a sudden you get all this information. But like it was basically taught like how caffeine were like tricking our mind, thinking we're supposed to be awake, even though caffeine doesn't actually like physically like wake your body up. It's not like, oh, I'm deathly tired. Caffeine will just keep me up. I mean, it's not how it works. But so I learned a lot about caffeine. I was like, I wonder if I can go. I wanted to go 6 months. So I'm at 2 already. I think I can keep going. Trying to think of everything that kind of happened recently. Oh, I got a new car. I don't know if I talked about that already, but I got a new car.
Nice.
I went from a 2003 Chevy Malibu with about 260,000 miles on it to a 2009 Subaru Tribeca with like 130,000. Definitely an upgrade by like 1,000,000%. My car was definitely falling apart. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Did attempt my first subathon the other day, or Friday, 2 days, yeah, 2 days ago, and my internet crapped out 17 hours in, which I'm pretty bummed out. Uh, it's really fun, but I am gonna do all the challenges, and I'll keep you guys posted with that. I have a couple of them listed. So I did send an email to a different department to see if they were hiring, just kind of move around to my job. Haven't heard back yet, but I'm trying to see, what else is in store. Cause I don't know. When I work at somewhere for 2 years, I feel like I have to move. If it's not, if it's not something I'm just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of pressure and then I get kind of feel like suffocating. Like I can't stay here. I don't know why I get like that, but it's just, for me, I'm like, if this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life, I need to like move now.
No, no.
It gets like, I don't know. It's like it's to a point where I just drastically just go. I've done that like a couple times. I don't know if it's like a
I
because
kind
I
of
don't think I
understand. It,
yeah. Well, I've heard people they're like, oh, you seem to move jobs around. I'm like, well, I don't want to work here for the next 40 years. So why would I keep working here? I'm not
mhm.
going to quit my job unless I have something set up already. But like, if this is like, I see people who work jobs for, like, there's someone at my job right now who's there, they've been there for 47 years. That's awesome for them. I can't see myself here for the next two. So, like, why would I sit there and mentally just drain myself? Like, people don't understand that. They think once you have a job, you have to stay at the job for the rest of your life. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't know what's out there. Yeah, I'm looking into that. So, if you're feeling like that, I mean, life's too short to stay at a job and hate it. Like, you should, I mean, you're not going to like every day, obviously, but you shouldn't just dread going to work. But so that's something new. That's pretty much all I got for now. And hopefully the Vikings can pull off another or a win finally, for a couple weeks.
Finally.
Yeah, that kind of ties into what I have.
Wore my hat today.
A few weeks ago, that kind of the same day when we started to drop our merch and whatnot, I did my first subathon.
I got the idea from
I was gonna say, I think that's where T may have gotten the idea. Not gonna assume too much. I did my first just because I know a lot of people in my community had wanted me to do a 24-hour stream. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream, I'm gonna make you guys earn it. And boy, did they ever! My goal was 48 subs, whether resubs, new subs, or gifted subs, and I would go for 24 hours. I had over 100 subs 3 hours into stream. I was just blown away. I had set incentives on a list. Every 10 was a new incentive, whether I was giving away free merch since I had just dropped my merch, let them pick my game, let them pick my Twitter picture and stuff like that, and all the way up to 100. Never expected it would get to 100. I was like, maybe that's a long shot. We'll hit 100, maybe. 100 in less than 3 hours, and I had to make new incentives. It was absolutely crazy. Ended with like 193, I think was the final number. Just crazy. I did it, and I really didn't ever hit like a wall doing 24 hours. I was surprised. And then the next day I went to the Vikings game. It was one of the best weekends until it wasn't, because we lost to the Cowboys and a backup quarterback on Halloween. So it was a great time besides the ending. I swear, had the Vikings won, it would have been one of the best weeks of my life.
Hey,
And then
but
they didn't.
you gotta. I mean, probably the best day for what the heck's his name? The Cowboys back. I can't think of his name.
Cooper Rush.
Rush. That's Rush. I mean,
Yeah, and then the
good day
Cowboys
for
go and
him.
lose to the Broncos, and but besides that, basically similar to JRinkz, I've been playing a good chunk of Vanguard. Same with MLB, the show still. They have one of their biggest programs coming up here shortly, but by the time this is out, it'll be, or in the past, it's where their finest cards come out, which is all 99s for every single team. Always super exciting. So Friday will be big, and then yeah, Call of Duty, as I've actually been having a lot of fun playing with the group of people that we've been playing with. So
I'm also. You guys are. I'm actually downloading Apex again, so we'll see.
ooh.
Ooh.
I'm not a first person shooter anymore, but it looks
Do we
so
pull up
fun.
a podcast night where we play Apex? The podcast trio plays some Apex.
I
Us
I
three
think
have
that's a
never
great
played a
game.
game together.
No,
We've
that's
never all three
false.
played one game.
That is
We played Rogue
false.
Company. We did play Rogue Company. That's
Yeah,
about it.
that's
Like very, very little have we played stuff together. So
it's largely on my end because I don't really play shooters. But I mean, if you guys are down, I'm gonna be bad, but I mean, I'd be down like on
I'm
a
not that
Saturday or
good.
Friday.
JRinkz is pretty good. I have
But
moments.
either way, it's more just about working together than it is being cracked out of your
Well,
mind.
do you guys prefer arenas or the
Battle
battle
Royale.
royale?
I prefer Battle Royale.
I like
'Cause
both of them, honestly.
I've
I
met people who are just like, screw battle royale. I want to do strictly arenas. And I'm like, I don't know. I've only played the battle royale. I never tried arenas, but it just feels like any competitive game to me. I feel like it's just a giant sweat fest. It's just that's how
that's
I feel.
Arenas
So that's
arenas
why.
is fun as long as you're not facing people who all they do is play arenas.
Well, that's why I kind of went over to non-competitive games because it's just more fun. Like I just have way more fun than sitting there like, oh, all right, let's run it again. Oh, okay. After like 20 games, you're just like, all right, I don't play, you know,
yeah.
or just stupid ways that like I don't know, like I always go to Dead by Daylight, but you just die and just like okay, you look to a hacker or something, and you're like, "Oh," that always happens to me every time I play. It's like I'm watching this guy. I'm like, how is this guy? He's either like the best person in the world, or he just is hitting headshots every 5 seconds. Like you know, uh, but
But
I'm willing to give it another go. I am. I've thought about it because I did play League of Legends a lot the past 2 days.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I was
saw
watching
that.
some during
Well, it
the
was it was a
subathon.
game. It was a game I said I'd never play again, but here we are.
We all
But I have a
relapse. It's
better,
okay.
but but I have a better outlook. It was actually really fun. Like I didn't get.
If
I
you
used to get
play for
just so.
fun instead of like I have to be competitive,
Hmm.
generally you're gonna have more fun and enjoyment playing a game.
But also, if we play together too, that sounds fun. Like it's
Yeah.
because you guys, I feel like we're all competitive, but not to the point. Because I played games like that competitive, and then next, my friends just yelling at me the whole time. I'm like, okay, it was supposed to be fun, like not you just
Yeah.
being all angry because I told you from the start I'm not good. Like this should have been a thing that you knew, but when we agreed to play.
Yeah.
Because every time, like I'm the person who, if I'm the last alive, like no one expects me to do anything. Like nobody expects me to like do something cool. Or let's say like when your teammate dies, I go back to Fortnite when I played Fortnite. Um, no one ever spectates me. You know how you could spectate people? Nobody spectates
Oh,
me. So I do something
that's the
cool.
opposite.
I do something
Whenever I
cool.
had someone who was bad, that's who I would spectate every time. Because when they did something, it was awesome.
Yeah. You
I'm
freaked
just
out
saying.
for him.
I'm just saying. I was like, nobody expected me to do anything. So when I do something cool, I was like, I didn't think I was that bad. I wasn't that great, but I wasn't like running like this, like like when you first play a game. I know I have the concept down. I mean, obviously, I haven't used to like play it in a while, so my aim's gonna be off. But I'm not as bad as you guys make me think. Like, you guys just make me think I'm just like, oh, there's a guy. How do I aim? Like it's like, come on, I'm not that bad. In Apex, you can use controller, which I find phenomenal because I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2. So like it's like generally feel like similar controls and everything. Um, Obviously differences and stuff like that. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Excited to do that. We should definitely do that like soon. That actually sounds like very, very fun.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
find a day when we're all on. Probably a day
I
when
just got
JRinkz
super
doesn't
excited.
have to work.
Yeah, because then we could actually stream it and not have it be late at night to almost midnight or whatever.
Well, because I feel like you can like, can't you do like group stream?
You,
No,
we'd
only
have to
if
be
you're a
partner.
partner.
All of us would
Oh,
have to be partner.
that's so.
Foiled his
That's a
plan.
different topic. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, it would be cool if you could, but I think it just takes up probably so much server space and whatnot that, and I've not seen anyone do it recently. That's some, especially during Fortnite. I used to see people do it all the time.
Or a different RuneScape streamer that I watch, Zulu.
I was just say
He,
RuneScape does a lot.
RuneScape recently released like group Iron Man,
Yep.
and so they were doing, I believe they were doing hardcore group Iron Man, and they were all streaming, and he was basically with 3 other huge streamers in it in the RuneScape community. They're all just beasts. I don't know how those guys grind like that. They
Dude,
go hard, bro. I don't.
like, so
Oh,
do you ever watch Bodhi at all?
um, not really, but I know who he is.
Yeah, so he gets like, he has hardcore Iron Man, and he gets like uh, super far into the game, like 90 stat, and then he dies to a connection loss.
Yep.
Right, this is like the second or third time he's done it. Like, he starts over, does all this stuff. Because I just started an Iron Man. I'm like, holy crap! I died like 7 times already. Like, I'm like, how does people not die? Not only that, you have to start over, do everything again, like everything again to get to where he was, and then died from a connection loss. Like that.
Yeah, to
Loss,
literally.
like,
Ooh,
so what happens is like the hardcore, you get like a little symbol next to your name. It's like a brown helmet. And if you die, you go to a just a regular Iron Man. So it's a silver helmet. Like, if you have the brownish, reddish helmet, like, and you're really far, that means you just never died.
You're goated.
So it's like, yeah, you're pretty good. But everyone dies. Like, the number one guy died to a connection loss. They all die to the
DCing
server.
and then
Yeah.
not being able to pot or eat their food that they brought with.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody. Like, it's just like, dude.
it's kind of crazy.
So people are just like,
that would
do
be
I
so
even waste it?
frustrating.
Well, because there's certain things like I'm doing right now. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I have to do this and this. I have to do all this stuff, and it takes like hours. Like, the amount, like, for him to get like 90 stats, like, that's like months of time.
Yeah.
Obviously he's streaming it, so it doesn't feel like as much of a grind probably as if he wasn't. But like, there's people who don't stream, and I'm just like, dude, your account has like 700 days logged. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And then you die when it wasn't your fault, and then there's nothing that they can do about it. You can't
It's
go
like,
back.
well, all right, make a new one. You wanted that.
Well,
You wanted that status, that symbol. You guys
and
start
that's
over.
like, it was
And
like his 5th or 6th one. I'm like, holy.
and for anyone that doesn't know what Iron Man is, basically anything you get, you have to make yourself. You can't go to like what's called the Grand Exchange and just buy stuff off the market that anyone is selling. You literally have to make it all yourself. Oh, you want to go make a bow? You have to go cut the logs, grab the feathers. Like, you got to do all of that yourself, and that's kind of the appeal to it. Is it's the old school way. You can't trade with anyone.
Yeah.
It's
And
like hardcore survival Minecraft. That's what I'm getting.
Yes,
Pretty much,
exactly.
yeah.
That's kind of exactly what it is.
And people that would like get to like a full-on built house, maxed out everything, and then
Going
they
into
die to the game just not working.
a ghast bumps them off the ledge while they're in the nether and they fall in the lava. That's the equivalent of getting DC'd.
I
Yeah.
actually saw a video the other day of someone playing hardcore, and they were like on day 1,000 of doing it, and they were falling in the nether, and they paused and quit their game. So they were paused while falling, and they had one of their friends come into the game, build around them, and like, but they can't tell exactly where they were because he just paused randomly.
Mm-hmm.
But they built, and then they put ladders with a little hole, and the guy spawned right on one of the ladders. It was such a cool clip I saw. I wish I would have.
He cheated though. His ass
so
cheated.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, if it's a multiple person hardcore,
True.
it was genius though. I was just like, oh, wow. I would have never even. I would have just fallen. Like those people that are like hard, like all they do is Minecraft. They are so good at that stuff.
Well, I played Minecraft a couple times, and this guy or one of my people in my stream was like, "Dude, just use these doors. You could breathe underwater." I'm like, "What?"
I didn't know that. I know some things, but
I would have never known that. I would have been like, "How the heck am I supposed to stay underwater for this long to gather this stuff? Bring a door." like, well, okay. I didn't know that. Or there's so many things I learned.
Odd things in that game that you can do.
I wish I was more into it though. I don't know why. I think it was my first time I ever played. I played for 12 hours with a buddy.
That's how Minecraft goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like, hey, we have to go fish for food. I just wanted to mine. And go exploring. And he's like, no, we have to fish for food. I'm like, we have to make a wheat field. like for me, I'm like
I don't want to do work.
Where is the mining? And then we'd be mining, and then he's like, all right, we got enough material. We have to go do this. I'm like, bro, it's so soothing to just sit here and mine. But then, spiders.
But now I got to craft.
You just walk forward and just.
Well, I didn't even mean the craft. I mean, it was my first time playing, so I didn't know, like, just seeing a different color, like, thing. I was like, what is that? Oh, it's red. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I want it. I need it.
It's worthless. Stop.
or like, when you got I got my first diamond. I was like, the dopamine rush, dude. I was like, whoa.
Finding diamonds always. Even now, if you find diamonds, the feeling is
you're
great.
like, yes, like, the fact they're just like,
just to find diamonds.
But then they're just like, no, we got to make our wheat field. Like, we have to make this giant farm and get animals. I'm like, bro, it's called Minecraft, not Farmcraft. I want to mine. I just want to mine. I mean, I was like 15 at the time. But like that, I think that's why I just don't like it. I just I log in. I'm like, I don't want, because then I hate that I have to bring food. If you're mine, you have to have energy. But he's like, that's why we got to fish. I'm like, dude. You just saying that because you don't want me to mine anymore. It's not, you do the fishing, I'll do the mining. How about that? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, there you go.
That was kind of always the role I chose on servers. I was like, yeah, I'll make the farm. I'll manage the fields, and
we would have had a good time together.
I'll get the cows and the pigs, and then some chickens, and maybe we'll find a horse somewhere. But
I'm you guys worry about the building and getting the place set up. I'm just gonna go and gather the material. I'm gonna go walk straight in this mine for 15 hours straight.
See, it's soothing. I don't know what it is. But then the other time I played, like recently, it was like people were just like, okay, go in this portal. Like all of a sudden they made another portal. I'm like, how? I wanted to know like how they did it. Like I just didn't want people to
people that are good guides, especially when you're newer.
Yeah.
Or just
I was like,
have a friend that also doesn't really know what they're doing, and then you kind of just learn on your own.
Yeah. Well, I don't like. It's not fun for me to play by myself though, because one, I don't know anything, and two, I get stuck. I'm like, all right, so how do I go back? And then I have to like make a bed and then sleep in like a little sand hut that I made because I don't know. It's dark and I'm gonna die from the skeletons or something.
Yeah. I think someone like me would be a good person to play with, where I know how to play the game and I know stuff, but I'm not an expert, so I'm not gonna be like, don't worry about that. I'm still like collect everything, grab everything, just slowly. There's still so much I don't know about that game, but I know enough that I can help you, but still will let you just kind of be on your own, where you like
not literally tell you exactly what to do. Like
you're still
some people
learning on
try
your
and
own.
over explain stuff and then end up being like, well, no, you have to do it this way. It's like, just let me do it my own way, man. I'm here to play too. Yeah,
Well,
you
I
know?
see. I say that, but I want help because I don't know what I'm doing. You
Yeah.
know.
But like
Maybe,
exactly
but the
like he's
best way is
saying.
not like hands on all the help. You just little help.
So
Mhm.
what I'm hearing is we're doing a Minecraft stream too. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, I have Minecraft. I have
I
both
don't.
Is
versions
it
of
the? Oh,
Minecraft.
you do? I have Java.
I have both. I have Java and Microsoft.
I only have
That's all I'm
Microsoft.
hearing.
I think Java was cheaper.
Well,
Which
so
was weird.
everyone's like, yeah, get this, just get this Windows version. I'm like, oh, okay. So I downloaded the Windows version, which was what is it, Bedrock or whatever.
Yep,
Something like
And
that.
have it.
they're like, dude, you got the wrong one. I'm like, you guys, I didn't know there was 20 versions of Minecraft. Like, what do you mean I got the wrong one? It says Minecraft and I played it. Like I was playing Minecraft. They're like, no, you got the wrong one. I'm like, see, I literally, I was like 15 when I played Minecraft. And then you're like 10 years later, I was trying to play it. I had no clue there was like a billion different versions of it. But and now we have to play Apex and Minecraft. Be fun.
We don't have to.
Yeah, we don't
That's
have to play Minecraft.
Me over here, like, yeah,
My sister always wants me to play Minecraft on stream because that's what she generally watches on Twitch. So she doesn't watch me as much because I don't play Minecraft. So she always says I should play Minecraft, and I'm like,
a lot of people want me to play Minecraft. I think it's because I'm just don't know what I'm doing. So I think it's funny when
so
I
it's
die
basically
to
they
a
can
skeleton.
They want a
help you
backseat
too.
game, but also teach you.
But
Which
they
can be
like think
fun.
it's so
Backseat gaming,
funny.
just like telling people what to do, can be fun.
Yeah. Especially when the person, like, if you're the one being guided, if the person's not overly possessive about it. Like,
Yeah.
even if you don't do it the exact way they wanted you to, as long as you you learned and understood, then it can be fun.
I'm starting to get the urge to play Minecraft now.
And so am I. I was like, huh? Do I have the game pulled up over here and want to play Minecraft?
Just be like this, what, huh?
I always run into creepers.
Get 'em. Sorry.
That was me the other day. I had a webinar, and for the first like 5 minutes of the webinar, I was still playing zombies. Because while I was waiting for the webinar to start, like I was in there like 10 minutes early. I can play some zombies, and they were doing like intros and stuff, and I was still playing zombies. I tried to pause, and it wouldn't pause. I was like, maybe I'll just play a little. And then they actually started going. I was like, yeah, I can't do both.
Just say your camera broke, you know?
Well, there was like 100 people in the webinar, so I did not have my camera.
Oh, you could easily did both.
I could have, but I was like, I want to actually like
Learn from
some
it.
stuff from this.
Yeah.
Since like I'm supposed to learn at least a little bit from this, I like to. So like when they were doing the intros on who they were, that didn't matter. I'm never gonna see these people again in my life. And I thought I'd be able to just pause, but I was in a solo online game, so I could pause.
Rip.
That's one thing that my parents never understood when I was growing up. Do this now. I'm like, I'll do it in 5 minutes. Just pause your game. I can't. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't pause your game? You're like, not how it works.
There were multiple times where my parents would be like, hey, come on up. I'm on a 15 kill streak. I can't leave.
To drop a nuke.
Do they have so I haven't watched a lot of Vanguard or whatever. Because I watched like it's a very fast paced game. And I sent you Doc's clip. I thought that was funny.
It was hilarious.
I watched
Let's
that the day
go.
before too, and I was just dying. I watched that clip so many times. Even when you sent it to me, I watched it again because it was so funny.
Go,
But
go.
that's really how
Who's
I
brain
felt.
cells? Go.
That's really how I felt the first 3 days playing that game. I don't feel that way now. I've slowed down how I play a little bit, and it's become a lot more enjoyable. Let the people round the corner to me, don't round the corner to them type of thing.
You don't always got to jump out on
Even
them.
though I'm
Yeah.
still always like running forward 100 miles an hour, I just instead of sprinting around the corner, I stop before I sprint around the corner type of thing.
Me and one of my buddies, we call it the 3-second rule. Because when you're like you're like recovering like in like a little corner, like around a corner or whatever,
Mhm.
and then you go and there's always somebody there.
Mm-hmm.
Count the 3 and there's never anyone there. It's crazy. It was the craziest thing. It worked well. I mean, you're just like, all right, 1, 2, 3, go. But if we would have went right away, there would have been someone there. I don't know why. It always
Call of Duty
happens. Like,
timing. There's
I'm saying
always.
it's a 3-second rule in Call of Duty. Try it out. If you ever just pause and like one, then you go. Usually never anyone around the corner. Or
see.
they weren't paying attention because they just checked that spot.
Yeah, because
every
they
time.
were looking
'Cause
for
they
3
got
seconds
caught-
and
they
then they
got
looked away.
timing.
They got COD timing, which is literally like you stare at a doorway and the
As
second
soon
you
as
look
you
away.
flip to the like literally.
Oh, I have that
Boom,
happen
dead.
all the time.
Yep. So
So
you
Literally, I'm
keep
watching
the-
this way and I'm like, okay, no one's coming. And then as you start turning, they start rounding the corner and you're like, oh no. All the time.
That's why you count to 3 for everything, or 3 to 5. We'll go 3 to 5, just for clarification, because I don't want you guys yelling at me when it doesn't work.
When we get to 3.5 and there's still a dude there.
Yeah, you see. But no, it was like very nice. I don't know. We just started doing it, and we found it more enjoyable when you get the kill than someone just killing you.
Oh yeah, always.
I still remember. I don't know what it was with me. I loved like the combat knife. I just loved knifing people, or like boxing gloves or whatever. That was fun.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like I would just
Black Ops 3. All of the weird secondary melee weapons on Black Ops 3 were so cool, and they all had different, like when you do an inspect weapon, they'd all do a different thing,
Yeah.
which was so cool. My favorite, I had the baseball bat, and your guy would like put his bat on the shoulder and point. So like if you ran up behind someone, I'd always carry the bat as a secondary, switch to it, and I'd do the inspect and go ding ding, and then just
exactly. I thought it was so fun. I
wait
would
for
have
some
classes.
funniest things.
I would have classes designed specifically for just running around and just hitting people. And people would get so mad. So mad. I got it from in Modern Warfare 2 with the tack knife. I thought that, you know how, like, I was like looking at just old clips. The lunging
Was
in
nuts,
that game
bro.
was the stupidest thing.
Commando,
You'd
I'd
be like,
literally
yeah!
I'd be right here. Someone could be playing the piano and turn around and stab me in the back. That's how far they'd lunge.
You
I don't know
could
if you've
like
seen the clips
lunge.
of Vanguard yet.
Yeah.
The
you should-
bayonet with there's an attachment on guns that make you reach farther with your melee, and there you can put a bayonet on assault rifles. I've seen clips where there is a guy on the bottom of a ladder and a guy on top of the ladder. The guy just looks up and just. It's like, wait, what?
I was literally
crazy stuff like that.
across the roof on one of the maps. And the man just all of a sudden whoosh, and just dragged him like 9 feet. And I was just like, how did he get there? I freaked out. I was mad, but I was like, oh, he bayoneted me? I was like, that's the type of reach it
Okay,
has?
you guys. Okay, maybe I have to get this game now because I was that guy that just was like
You would love
sprinting
the bayonet.
around, stabbing people, and because you could like knife their foot and they die. I
Mhm.
thought that was funny. So I'd lay down in doorways, wait for someone to walk by, and go dead. Like
Yeah,
what?
everyone keeps saying like they got to fix the bayonet, it's broken, but no one ever runs them. So
Yeah.
not like shotguns where if you're on a smaller map, everyone and their grandma has the shotgun and it's just.
I think that's how we combat the shotguns. We just get bayonets and we just have the whole
You
team
just
do it.
spam. You just spam
Yeah.
it, and you guys just.
But for real, it does feel like Commando Pro, where you get that massive lunge when you're chasing someone down.
So every time I prestige is like, all right, Commando Pro, how do I get it again? I have to get it. Like, because it's just, I always ran that. It's just so nice. Because, you know, in those, even if those like close combat moments, you just click your knife button and you're just
Mhm.
like, oh, I didn't even mean to do that. Cool.
That
You're just
was that was the
Panic
one
knife.
thing that kind of sucks about newer CODs is sometimes you don't get that knife. Sometimes you just hit them with the gun, and it takes like 2
Yeah.
to 3 hits sometimes. And
because Modern Warfare 2, yeah, you didn't have the
you
hit
just
option. Just
you
knife.
always every time you melee'd, it was a knife.
Now you have to be carrying a throwing knife to get those.
Is that even what it is? I had no clue.
If you're carrying a throwing knife and you do it,
And you
instead of
immediately,
hitting
it's
them
a
with the
knife.
butt of the gun,
'Cause-
you'll knife them.
Because I noticed that I was carrying, in the trench map.
Yep.
I noticed that I knifed someone instead of hitting them with the butt of my gun. Okay, good.
Yeah, I made a fun class like that yesterday where I was quick scoping and combat knife and throwing knife. It was a fun time.
Yeah, same.
So
Sometimes you
you're
just gotta
holding
do that.
you're holding the throwing knife instead of
No, it's just instead of carrying grenades, if you have a throwing knife as an option, it'll use it. And as long as you have one and you haven't thrown them all, it'll use it to knife.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is kind of
because
cool.
I also love in Modern Warfare 2 when you start the game and you're just like, all right,
You have the lineup.
Oh, still, if
search
you
and
have a throwing knife,
destroy?
you have to.
search and destroy. Like when you get a kill like that, you're just like, oh yeah, let's go. Like you know what I mean?
Either
Like,
That
You'd
or
It
do
happened.
that, though.
on high rise. You know the start
Mhm.
where everyone just runs up to that one tiny little peak, and
Yep.
you just go for the 5 to however many people collateral because everyone looks for it. Someone's got to run by there no matter what every single game. So you
Mhm.
always got to peek it. And sometimes you hit 3 or 4 people and you're like, let's go! A UAV, boys!
I still think UAV. Like what game did they have? So instead of kill streaks, you could do like, it was like kill streaks were like one less or something like that.
Yep, with
Yeah,
hardline.
Yep, you had hard.
Yeah, hard light. So UAV was every 2 kills. I'm like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I
Things
hate
like
it.
that, though, everyone just runs Ghost. So you're not
That's-
seen by the UAV.
But Ghost
then
only
it was
works if you're not
cold-blooded.
moving
You
or
know,
whatever.
But that's fine by me, because then you're not people are stop camping.
That's true. That's true. But I was just like, enemy UAV. I'm like I said, I used to be that guy that destroyed every UAV. It was so annoying.
A lot of points.
I just hated it. It was like, oh, they know where I am now. Like that's crazy.
I loved people like you on my team. I hated when I was against people like you because I'd put my Harrier up, it'd be gone. Got 0 kills. I'd still get my kills and get to the chopper gunner. I get up. I'm still flying in and I'm already getting shot down. I'm not even on the map yet because it had to fly in from a distance. And so I maybe would get 1 or 2
there's like
kills.
3 people doing it, and
Yeah.
and nothing's getting
You
up
can't-
in the sky then.
Yep, exactly. If you had at least 2, maybe 3 dudes, airspace was clear. You were getting no kills off your kill streaks.
Last year on Cold War, when I was getting the camel grind, and you have to use the launchers, and there were multiple, especially when I was playing with Shanker, when we were both doing the camel grind trying to get the RPGs, anything, we'd hear UAV above, and we'd just bolt, just letting it fly. It was so funny. We
And
just
honestly,
into spawn.
the RPG is actually very fun. Like it's actually a very fun weapon. You just run it and then you jump. I love the RPG. Because I used to have diamond specials, so like crossbow, riot shield. Like I love those weapons. Like I was actually pretty dang good with the crossbow, like hitting them and exploding. I remember just like on my Xbox, I had so many cool clips of just like get like 3 kills. Like, damn. The guy got stuck because like, all right, I'm going out. I'm taking you guys with me.
Someone pull it out quick, and then
Yeah.
they all explode.
Help! Like that's what it looked like because it was one of the final kill cams. And he like got stuck and he turned and like ran right into his team. I was like, nice. It's fun. That I miss those
Guns
days.
like that, when you just pick a gun and play for fun.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not grabbing the best gun in the game and trying to be good. You're just grabbing the weirdest class and just playing to have fun. You can have. That's what I did yesterday. At the end of the night, it was a good time. You're not gonna do good all the time. You might have really bad games, but still fun.
But I just think like it's crazy that like people are like, oh, what's your with KDR? I'm like,
Yeah.
bad. Like what, I die a lot. Why is that? Like, like I'm sorry I don't have a 7 plus.
That's one thing that bothers me sometimes is people always ask me like, "Oh,
People
but
care
what's
too
your
much.
KD? What's your score?" Like, it's like, dude, I'm not trying 100% of the time. Like, I'm not going to try and be the best. Like, sometimes I want to just go quick scope. Sometimes, like you say, I want to run around with the combat knife. Like, I have the
Yeah.
riot shield on me sometimes. So, like, I'm obviously
Dude, the
not
ride's
trying for
so fun.
kills. So, like,
Um,
sometimes you're just trying to goof off. And that's the whole point, is
I've
to
had people not play with me because they're like, "Oh, your KD is 8.8." Sorry. I'm like, 0.8? That's an 80%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
I'd take
That's
that.
pretty bad. But
Especially the way, I mean, I'm just gonna say it, especially the way skill-based matchmaking has been implemented
Yeah,
in
you
the
want the
past.
worst
You
players.
want people that aren't popping off with a 2 KD in your lobby, because it's just gonna
Also,
make it easier.
sometimes you got to do it yourself to lower yours, so you're facing not as good people. That's why
And
having those days where you just play for fun instead of trying to do very good.
yep.
Good time.
And honestly,
yeah,
sometimes those are the best clips, is when you're just goofing off.
because I just remember back when I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2, I never really like so for me, what I hated was I did a lot of kill confirmed with a sniper, so I never like confirmed my kill with the tags or whatever.
Hmm.
And I had people like flame me. They're just like, dude, you had so many kills, but you didn't never confirmed. I'm like, I don't care if I win the round or not. Like I don't care if we win. Like, like if we lose the match, it's just like I still had a good time. My win ratio was trash. My
Oh,
win
I'm the
ratio was
opposite.
like
I
mine was
could care less
so bad.
about my KD, how many times I died, especially if we're playing in objective mode. I'm gonna play to win most of the time. That's just, I don't know.
But
I feel like
as
I'm
I
a team
got
player like that. I always gotta try and make sure to
but as
win.
I got older though, like now it's more fun to get the win.
Hmm.
That's where I was going with the point. Like I just remember just running around like, I don't care if we lose. Now it's like, man, we were so close. But
Yeah, and I think now everyone's the opposite. So many people care about their KD instead of getting
Actually
wins.
trying to win.
They're
And
like, "Oh, dude, I only died 3 times and had 50 kills, but I got 0 objective points."
and our team wasn't doing objective either. That's the whole thing. If you're slaying out and you're controlling the map and allowing your team to just sit in the hard point for free, then you're absolutely killing your role. But if you're just camped in the back corner just getting kills and not helping anyone, you're just that guy, you know?
so is the win ratio better than the kill ratio?
The
For
true
me,
stat for me that I loved to brag about and actually
score per
compare with
minute.
people, no.
Oh.
Accuracy. When they had accuracy on the leaderboards, I prided myself on that, because I was always upper 40s to low 50s.
Oh, mine's score per minute because that means you're playing objective and getting kills.
They didn't used to have that back in the day. So
I don't know what the last Call of Duty game I played. I think it was like World War II.
This
I
is
think
not a
like
great one.
it was trash. That's why I stopped playing. Like I was like super pumped. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be very fun. And I don't know why. It was just a very big let.
there was like -3 good maps. So
Yeah.
And
it's
all
It
the
just
bad maps were great sniper maps, so I loved them. Because that's all I did on that game was quickscope.
because I just felt like I couldn't really customize my class as much. Like I don't know, because like there's certain like games where you could have like 3 attachments. You get to pick the attachment. This was like, oh, add a suppressor, but you can't have a suppressor and this at the same time. I was like, what?
Oh, Vanguard, you can have 10 attachments. So
Oh,
You
whoa.
can put the whole farm on your gun.
everywhere that you could add something, you can add something.
Mhm.
Is suppressors like? Because I remember in what is it, Black Ops 1, I think. Like the suppressors were just
You had to
if you
have
didn't
them.
have one, it was just like you don't know what you're
What are
doing.
you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
didn't
The
it
M the
didn't
M
weaken your gun at all, but it made you invisible.
I remember the M16 red dot suppressed was like
Probably the best.
the most unfair gun. Yeah. Dead.
Just one burst.
Dead.
One
Like I'm
bursting
like,
people in the
what?
chest. Yeah.
You could like three like one just pull the trigger once, and they're just dead. I remember running the crap out of them, and then I tried it in different games. It sucked. I was like, "Damn, now what?"
Fair.
Because it was like one of the guns you get right away too.
Mm-hmm. It was like the second or third assault rifle on
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2. And then if you threw, it was either the red dot or the holographic on, you got a +5 to your damage on the gun. So you obviously threw that on, and like I said, you'd one burst him in the chest. Literally a cakewalk.
I never liked any of the other, like, what is it? It was just like the red dot. I only had the red dot little scope
Mhm.
thing. Because the other ones, I'm like, why would I want this like giant circle thing with like an X in it? Like, it's just like too. Like all of a sudden, it's just like this massive sight thing. I didn't like. Just the red dot was just so pin. Or like these weird symbols. I'm like, why do I want?
Yeah.
The mustache.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
I always ran the mustache. On Black Ops
Really?
2 and 3, I used the mustache all the time. I don't know why. All the other ones I hated. Like there was a skull or like
You
a
probably just thought it
donut.
was
I
funny.
thought they looked horrible, but I used the mustache. It was the down part of the mustache, like came to a point, and it was perfect. I don't know why I was good at it.
you're crazy. I
And
had
then
to have
on
just the
Black
regular red
Ops,
dot.
I think it was 3, they had the mustache upside down, so the point came to the at the top, so it was like even easier to use.
I love it. Love it. That's all I.
I was gonna say
Okay.
for closing, I had. That's another episode of the T and Moss Pod. But instead of just a normal closing, I kind of want to do a call to action for anyone that listens. Any topics you'd like us to touch on? Twitch tips, content creator tips that you think that we should touch on, or just current topics in content creation, or any of that stuff you want us to touch on. As well as if there's any guests you would like us to have on, because going forward, we'd like to have some guests on every other week or so, or just every once in a while have other streamers or content creators that people that we listen to preferably would like, or people that we also are friends with, we are planning to have on in the future. So keep a lookout for that. And then if there is anything you want to hear, if you're watching on YouTube, put it in the comments. If you're watching on Spotify, I don't know if you can put comments on Spotify. Feel free, reach out to our Twitter. Just send us a message of anything you'd like us to touch on. Yeah, until next time. Bye. Bye.